is Hull's first comprehensive school and will accommodate 1,500 pupils. Opened by the Right Honourable Anthony Crosland MP, it is a new type of school designed to bring out the best in every child, from the top-flight intellectual to the youngster with special difficulties. Headmaster Mr. Arthur Rowe intends to run it as a child village, with no written rules, relying instead on the rule of conscience and decent behaviour. Hull City leads the way in educational innovation, as David Lister School stands poised to meet the needs of every child in the local community.
Right, come on, oi! Don't be silly, come on. Let's get back, come on.
Head teacher Steve Cook has a struggle.
Right back, please. Just wait there, please. Don't be silly, don't
The government asks inner-city schools to meet the needs of all the pupils in their community.
Come on, we've got things to do.
But sometimes, before staff can teach their pupils, they have to manage their behaviour.
If I catch you doing that again, you're in trouble. All right, get back.
Apparently Stephen Norris has been placed in a bin by Adam Winders and Stephen Berry.
David Lister School has more pupils applying than it can take. Its exam results are below the national average, but they're rising fast. Last year, it passed its Ofsted report with flying colours. But problems with pupil behaviour are not confined to failing schools. Here, as in other schools, staff face a daily conflict with a small minority of pupils who won't play by the rules.
Apparently Stephen Norris has been placed in a bin by Adam Winders and Stephen Berry.
Okay, I'm on my way. They're the fire alarms, we're the basketballs. No problem.
Stephen Norris has been put in the bin.
Right, Steve. Any reason why they did this to you, Steve?
No.
No. So are you all right to go to science now, or do you want to go across to East House first?
I got science.
Excuse me. Why are you there? Andrew. Come here.
What? Is there a chuck me out? There is.
What's the trouble?
Stand still, please.
Andrew, in Year 9, has been ejected for disrupting a class. But this is just part of a chain of problems for Steve and his staff.
What time do you call this? Your report? And we're seeing your mum on Monday. So we're already, 10 minutes late? Well, no, you'll be sorry on Monday, won't you? Take your hat off, please. Okay, let him go. Let him go, then.
The thing is, once you move away, Steve, he's going to come back in.
He is, I know.
And he's going to start disrupting the rest of the class.
Yeah. This young man's been with me, okay. Right, young man.
You are causing disruption to the rest of the art class.
A very sad boy. But we'll give him 5 minutes and he'll come back. Because he always does.
I suppose this is what I would describe as a very typical inner-city comprehensive school. We have youngsters who are very bright, want to do well. We have a significant number of youngsters as well who have got significant social problems.
11 groups.
As in many other schools, David Lister's senior staff take turns to patrol the school site, responding to crises as they occur.
So Andrew Robson is in T block somewhere.
Jane Harris is next on duty and takes up the search for the missing Andrew.
Right, okay. T block. Normally I can't use this properly either, so it's even better because I have to keep running over there to see what she's actually saying to me. I'm looking for Andrew Robson. I don't know where this boy's gone. I can't find Andrew Robson anywhere. I mean, I've been all the way around the site.
Don't stand on the stairs, girls! How bad was he this morning?
Jane's shift ends. Next on call is Deputy Head Ian Wynne.
Come in, Mr. Wynne.
Andrew's been found. He's turned up at his next lesson, but the teachers called for help.
And whereabouts is Andrew now, over?
See you, Mr. Pollard, U11.
Can you take it away, please?
Because I've asked you nicely, that's why.
Joanne as well.
Let's go.
In a group where you've got 4 or 5 problems and everybody else is okay, you can deal with it. But I've got a couple of Year 9 groups that there are probably up to a dozen kids in a class of 30 that are potentially very disruptive. And if they all go at once, you've just got no chance because you're trying to spot, right, who's mucking about, and at the same time you're trying to get the name on the board, or you're even trying to remember their name, you know, if they're a new group to you. And you're just defeated by sheer weight of numbers.
Well, I want you away from that situation where you were not going to do yourself any favours. I know you weren't.
Oh, will be good.
Well, you said that period 1 and period 2, but you managed not to do that. Andrew, old chap, can you just...
Hilary Finley is the school's head of behaviour management. The most difficult pupils are referred to her. She tries to get to the bottom of Andrew's bad morning.
I think eventually it just kicks in the age-old habit of, I don't actually want to be here anymore. I've failed, but now I'll continue to fail, but I'll fail on my own circumstances, and his own circumstances are actually to play the clown and to become totally abusive and to be thrown out. If he comes in and you can see that he's not in a working mood, best thing then is to get support.
Later, staff reluctantly decide to send Andrew home.
Sending children home is an extreme. We do try to keep them here, and we do try to continue working at them so that they can start to understand the consequence of their actions.
I always feel a bit annoyed with myself that I got wound up by kids. Even though you don't feel guilty about throwing a certain kid out of your class for his behaviour or whatever, you still feel a bit inadequate in that you should have dealt with it without having to resort to that in a zone.
I mean, I think some people would be shocked, wouldn't they, if the fact that kids will square up to you, and people are saying, how can a kid do that to a teacher? You know, I remember when I was younger and all like this. But the thing is, them kids will do it to anybody. It doesn't matter who you are, because that's what they're like.
Shut it, Nippy!
There's some nice kids in this school, but it's that cluster. They know that we can't do anything, teachers can't do anything, police can't do anything. So they go right to the edge.
You're up against it all the time because you're dealing with people from a community that hasn't put a great store on education in the past. And you come across it every day with kids who are either apathetic towards their education or anti-education.
This silliness stops, or we have on call, all right? Yeah.
David Lister streams pupils by academic ability. Year 8's worst behaviour is confined to one particular class in the lowest set. It's kept small because learning and behavioural problems make the pupils so hard to teach.
Sit yourself down. Sit yourself down. Sit down, leave the box. Hi, on call to you 11, please, 8S3.
Difficult group. Loads of baggage being brought to class. Most of the time it's just a containment exercise with them. Keeping them in the room, keeping them from damaging themselves and each other.
Hi, young lady. What's the problem? No.
Pupils are rarely sent out of top stream classes, but Ian's called to Keeley from Year 8.
Go upstairs, Mrs. Swill. No. Well, I can't have you standing outside. Right then, come upstairs now, please. So therefore you are refusing school discipline. Well, clearly you are. Well, you're not here to pick and choose, honey pie.
You don't like school.
Well, what can I tell you?
One of the most powerful things a child could actually say is no. Or in the vernacular, no. But they do, and it is, I mean, as a parent, when a kid turns around to you and says, you know, no. I think there are, sometimes they don't actually mean no, they mean, I've got a problem here, help me out with it. But to a teacher, no means,
Kirsty! Lynn, keep hold of her, please.
And Kirsty needs to be returned to Mark Pollard's geography lesson.
This way.
I need the toilet.
Yeah, well, we'll do that on the way upstairs.
Who should have carried me up them stairs?
And guess what?
Kirsty.
That's it to you.
So, go on, Sarah.
Spin you out. Sit yourself up there, get this done, then you're going to be out one time. Sit down.
That's fine, so I can't go on there because I
Why? Kirsty, come on, you've got work to do. You've got a full 50 minutes to do the work. If you don't get it done, this is typical. Last 20 minutes, we've just had it. Mental.
Sorry about that,
Hang on.
Do you know you? I don't like.
It's a war of attrition, really. Some classes you'll gradually, I know it sounds horrible and harsh, but you'll grind them down and get them to do things the way you want to do it. But with some classes, you'll never get to them. You never win.
Because it's the Keeley Foster show, she says. That's how she described it. We can't have.
Jane has been hearing teachers' complaints about Keeley, but Keeley has her own complaint about a teacher.
You said you wanted to murder me.
Well, I mean, I think that once people start losing it like that, like you're screaming, she's screaming, we're not going to get anywhere, are we?
She's trying to think of somewhere to murder me.
Well, I'm sure that that's not really what she means.
She said she goes home on a Wednesday because that's when she has me for a double period and writes down in her diary and tries to work out some way how to kill me.
Your mum's phone and her car's broken down, so you went out to walk home.
Oh, that's not funny. I gotta walk by myself.
Let's just tell you something. That is justice on you, that is.
Yes.
Have a nice walk.
Sorry,
It's not funny.
It's
not fair.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
Kirsty. Kirsty.
There's no need for you to be like this. Yeah.
Don't throw that book. I'm fed up of you throwing things at me today.
Mum. Okay. See you later. See you later.
This year, 270 11-year-olds started at David Lister School. Many are able and hard-working, but a small minority came already labelled problem children. A few were even known to the police. Hilary Finley, head of behaviour management, is in charge of them. These pupils could be trouble for the school for the next 5 years, unless Hilary can turn them around. They are taught in a special classroom apart from the rest of the school.
Are we ready then?
But getting these pupils into the classroom and keeping them there is not straightforward.
Doesn't come in while 11 o'clock on the night, sometimes. I'm out looking for him, can't find him, so I just have to sit and wait. I think if I don't bring him, then he won't come. He'd rather be off with his mates. Sometimes I just drop him off at the gates, but sometimes I bring him straight in, if he's in the mood.
I'm now going to do the register and then I'm going to sort out Scott's problem. So, listen for your names, please. Don't forget how we answer. Sam?
She's a nice teacher. She can sort him out. She can do more than I can.
So I need to find Vicky. Scott.
I was there late.
Come and speak to me, please, Vicky. I can't work out what the problem is unless you speak to me. Right, what's the problem, Scott? Have you calmed down a bit now? So are you going to come into the room? No. Vicky! Vicky! Please come here! What are you going to do then? By not doing what you should be doing? Which is it to be? What is the problem? Tell me what the problem is and I can sort it. If I don't know the problem, I'll just have to guess. Go on, Scott, for me. Come on, let's have you in. Good lad. Come on, Scott. In you go. You looked much nicer dressed in your school uniform than you do in your jeans. Yes, you do. I think you do. I think you do.
One of Hilary's pupils is already in real trouble, and the school knows the stakes are high. His brothers have both served time in prison. They also went to David Lister.
The eldest brother was excluded permanently when he was in year 8, and there've been a lot of issues with respect to the family. We're not optimistic.
We've got a situation, haven't we, whereby you came onto school site last Thursday, you got a late mark, and then what did you do?
Just walked straight back out the other gates and went to my dad's.
You didn't walk straight back out the other gates, though, did you, Alice?
Yeah, I did. I
No,
walked through school.
Something else.
straight.
So you walked through school, and something else happened along the way to another boy.
To another boy?
To another boy. Another boy. Another boy was actually hit quite badly.
Oh, by?
By yourself, allegedly.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That boy who was walking across the bridge.
That's right.
He threw a stone at me.
Did he?
Yeah.
I've seen him since, and actually his face was black and blue. You really did give him a good hiding. It wasn't necessary at all, that.
Didn't even hardly hit him. I just touched him one.
You could be really successful. You could get good qualifications, you could get a good job, plenty of money, you could do really well for yourself. But unfortunately, there are times when you can't control that temper, you can't control that anger, and we need to work at that, don't we?
Do you know what I expect of you for today?
Would you really want to stay out of trouble? Would you like to stay out of
Yeah,
trouble?
but I just want to go home for today.
Well, that's not part of the deal. Nobody said it was going to be easy.
Alex, what did I say to you earlier today about court? You won't be happy until you're in that courtroom and you're walking one way, through one door and I'm walking the other way. Because that's what's going to happen, unless you alter your attitude.
Without being unkind, this is getting very close to the last chance, isn't it? You know, if we can sort it now for you, Alex, things will be okay. Now, she will be strong, and she'll do the best for him. She will do the best for him.
Yeah, she'll need to be.
Yeah.
I think he needs the help. Mind you, that we all need the help.
If he doesn't survive the next 6 months, we're going to be chasing him, really, for the rest.
Behind the door.
Good. No, let's just get Alex settled. Scott.
That tends to be the nature of these youngsters, is if you can actually catch them before they're 12 or 13 and really get some intensive work, then you can actually do something about it.
Staff have received worrying reports about how Alex has been spending his time when not in school.
I think the kid had a chance.
Yeah. And some of the things he's been doing concerns me, like cruelty to ducks. I mean, even ducks in a park aren't safe, for heaven's sake. That isn't antisocial behaviour.
Good morning.
Good morning, young man. What's he doing in the shop? Why aren't we at school?
Pardon?
Before school, lunchtime and after school.
What word was that?
I don't think he was a happy customer.
As part of a crime reduction programme, PC Jean McKee is on hand to help local schools. Deputy Head Ian's called her in after complaints from a neighbourhood shop.
They've been coming in, vandalising the shop, throwing drinks in, throwing things at customers, and just making a nuisance of themselves.
The ringleader yesterday has only just come back to school yesterday from being suspended.
It's just the minority what spoils it for the majority of them, because some of them are good kids.
So he should be in school, and you know that. Lunchtime fine, after school fine, not now.
While the rest of the school moves from class to class, Hillary's group can't be trusted to do so. They stay in the one room, and Alex is not the only one who'd rather not be there.
Scott, would you like to come back to the real world?
God. You have to pick it up.
Thank you, Alex. I train puppies to do the bidding of adults.
I'm sure it helps if you do like children. I mean, I do like kids, and I love the kids that I work with.
I don't like children at all. Third time I've asked you. You have a history book there.
Look! Look, it's been measles, Dad, dinner hour.
You're going to lose some of your dinner hour. Alex has already lost some of his dinner hour. You can join him if you wish to. 5. Thank you. If you can now do the rest of the lesson without all the grumpiness, you'll keep your dinner hour. What I want you to do is to stop arguing and to actually write today's date and underline it in pencil. If you can't do that, then fine, Scott. You've now thrown it on the board, so you now get a 5 next to it.
I never done now.
Don't push that, because you're now being dangerous, young man, in which case I will have to do something about you. Stand. Thank you. You can do what you like in other situations, but you don't put other people at risk. It works with many puppies. Not all of them. Some can still turn into bad dogs, and that is why it's very pertinent and very important that these puppies are trained as early as possible. Sit down and stay. Sit and stay.
While Hillary's busy with Scott, Alex slips out.
Reception, I think he should return to his class. Not at all.
Thank you. Great.
Ian gets the call, and Alex is retrieved.
Sounds honest, doesn't it?
And I didn't go back in. I'm sat here now. Do I ever be at home? Asleep in bed or watching a video?
Hillary's taken away Scott's lunch break and his trainers.
Cole's got his trainers so he can't run away. Isn't that right, Scott? Yeah? He can't go run off to the railway track, he can't sidle off. This is our attempt to keep Scott in a safe environment for the day. Isn't it, Scott?
You do think about trying to make society a bit better in your own way. Maybe sometimes we make it slightly worse, I don't know, but yeah. I think genuinely at the back of every teacher's mind is that they just want everything to be a bit better, really, and you can only get that if you educate people, can't you? And
you're helping in some way to shape.
Yeah.
We do, don't we? We're almost making apologies for the fact that, you know, we'd like to affect people's lives. Of course we affect people's lives.
So tomorrow,
we have a pen and pencil
here,
tomorrow, please, because you've had about 3 pens now.
And hopefully then, you'll be in a settled mood and you'll keep your trainers, yes? And you'll keep your break and you'll keep your dinner hour. But it's all down to you, Scott, all right? You're a free man. You're a free man. All right?
It's Sam's birthday, and his mother takes his whole class out to celebrate.
Even nice sometimes of them. No, 16.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sam. Happy birthday to you. That's lovely, that is, Sam. You want to keep that?
David Lister has a realistic approach to problem behaviour. They found bribery helps. Each lesson, the teacher gives out points for meeting targets, and success means chocolate.
100%, because you won't be off next week. Alex, we can't do.
Darryl, Sam, sit down.
But after weeks of good marks, Sam is being disruptive and swearing at his teachers.
Can you pick up Keely Foster?
Looking down there, is that right? Is that fair that you've got 1 mark out of 5 for using appropriate language in class? Is that fair? Do I have to go through all the business of what you actually said? So you know you were wrong, don't you? Okay? What's your target for today? 135. Yeah, you're struggling, son, aren't you? In you go.
You will stay in your seat from now on. And I'm going to tell you now what they've just been told. Any more damage to that room and you're not going in it. None of you are going in it. I'm going to find a nice, dirty, smelly, filthy room somewhere for you. Because all of you are just ruining that room. So do you understand?
The next day, Sam's mother is called in to see Hillary.
I mean, you can see this is the room that they're working. It is quiet, and you can see, you know. Yeah, he's lucky to have it. And he's doing it because he does want the attention. I know why he's doing it. And at the moment, I just feel as if I don't really know the best way of helping him. Which was why I really wanted to speak to you, because he's your son, you know him better than I do.
Sam's denying it, really. He's saying he has definitely done it. Upset a teacher, called her a dog or something. I think when his dad didn't send him a birthday card, it didn't help, definitely. He come into his life and then disappears again, and people drop out of his life and he kicks off. He got expelled twice from his primary school. He needs a lot of chances, does Sam? He could do to be a cat with 9 lives, something like that.
It's a long habit that we're trying to break.
I mean, I think it's really hard. It's hard to, as a parent, and I mean, children are difficult, don't get me wrong, we all know that, but it's hard to understand and comprehend really just how far out of control a child can get at the age of 11. It's frightening. These children are just not trained in any way, shape or form, are they? And so you get into that blame culture, which is very difficult to break, I think.
Would you want to go to school every day knowing that you're going to get punished? That you're going to be singled out from all the other kids and put in one room to work with one person all the time? You wouldn't want to go to school, would you? You know, the teachers. I'm well aware that their job's hard, but at the end of the day, when they go to college, they're well aware of what being a teacher entails, that they're going to get abuse off certain kids at certain ages in different schools. They should just get on with it. Do the job. Instead of whining about what kids do, and they didn't do that years ago.
What they're getting there is a block of naughty kids. So what he's got is a very good thing. But he's still mixing with the same group all the time. And so from there, after leaving school, he's still going to be mixing with these children. From there, in my book, he's going to be then mixing with the people that are going on to prison.
Are they stupid or what? Reception, come in please. Will you contact Sean Braithwaite's dad and tell him he's just left the site? Now go to your lesson and get a move on!
Last year, Ofsted judged 97% of the teaching at David Lister as satisfactory or better. Many pupils do well. But while most of the school is successfully getting on with it, a minority of pupils are reluctant to learn.
You, come here! That wasn't right clever, it wasn't right smart, was it?
Girls, where are you going? Come here, please. Come here. Where to?
David Lister staff have limited weapons. One punishment is a temporary exclusion. But some pupils even disobey the order to stay away.
But he's not at the moment because he's banned from school, as you well know.
He's banned from school?
Yes.
The required one, okay.
You
shouldn't be on the side, Murray.
Can you go now, please, round the corner?
You're
going this way, Anna.
We'll go this way, Murray.
Natalie? All right, there's Hilary in there.
You need to leave the school site.
Well, I don't go to the school. I'm going back to the school. Anyone will find out when I'm coming back.
But not at the moment. If you want to find out, you need to come back in with your mum. But I'm not pushing, I'm guiding you towards the area that I want you to go to.
Yeah, I know which area you
want
to go to.
Well, you go to it then,
Natalie,
please.
come in. Natalie, come in.
Are you leaving school, Natalie, are you? Right, so you need to wait there then, because we'll need to contact home.
We've done this. We'll
contact home and inform them then that you want to go home. Can they come and
She
collect you?
won't even be in anyway.
Well, so you can't leave then, can you? Simple as that. You need to leave the school site. If
What?
not, we need to get the police.
I will leave school.
No, I want you to do it now.
Yeah, I'm going.
I want you to do it now.
Donna's problems are not academic. She's in her year's top set. But at 13, she has 3 years of bad behaviour behind her.
Back in school. Was only today. Not
The last time she was excluded, what was happening is she was just foul and abusive to anybody who wanted to try and ask her to do what she ought to be doing. So she would truant from lessons. We'd ask her to go into lessons, and she seemed to think that she could just do as she liked. We had no control over it. Nobody had any control over it. In fact, in all honesty, one of the things I did say to her was, you don't have any control over you.
Permanently excluding even such a difficult pupil would go directly against government targets and Steve Cook's personal convictions.
Exclusions are very emotive because the vast majority of exclusions do not benefit the youngster who is excluded. Right.
He'll even accept pupils thrown out of other schools.
Come and join us, is that right?
Yeah.
So what went wrong?
I started having problems and it got worse.
So what sort of things?
Like fighting and
Right.
swagging.
Right. And so what did you get excluded for in the end?
Fighting.
Fighting. Right. Is there anything particular that winds you up?
I get wound up very easy.
Short fuse?
Yeah.
Other than just changing schools, how are we going to make things different? There's some smashing kids here. There's some kids who will want to get on with you. There'll be other kids who might want to wind you up. And we don't want that to happen, do we?
No.
So I'm desperately thinking of some way we can make something different.
Well, if anyone tries winding them up, I'll go see one of the teachers.
That's really important. Okay. So looking forward to it then?
Yeah.
Good, good. Because this is going to be okay. You'll do okay. All right?
I think he will, actually.
He will. You'll do fine. See you now. Bye. Ah, dear me. Hey, what goes wrong? Well, I fight with people on a regular basis. I mean, he's going to find it hard, isn't he?
I don't know, I just gotta redeem myself and make it better. There was a lot of trouble caused, and that's how I got into that kind of stuff, mixing with the wrong people.
We do have a good record of pulling youngsters back from the brink when they don't seem so keen on education. And we have a good record of hanging on to youngsters when other schools might well finish up excluding them.
Where are you going?
There are costs when you've got such blunt instruments as league tables.
Go back to your classroom. Go back to your classroom. It's 3 o'clock. Go back, please.
Donna returns with her mother for a meeting. She's to be allowed back under Hillary's personal supervision, but only if she signs a contract to obey school rules.
It's the rules that you don't want. You're not bothered about being in here, you just don't
No,
want the
you've
rules.
got to have rules, haven't you, Mum? I know that.
Well, she's just asking you to stick by the rules, the simple rules.
Yeah, I'm happy with all of them. Yeah, I can do all of them there. Yeah.
But a great majority of what I get paid is to be disliked. That's what teachers do. We come to school to be disliked. Some kids actually do like us because we teach them something. But majority of the time we come to school to be disliked. It's just a sad fact of life. But your mum didn't have you so that she could spend the rest of your life arguing with you. But it is vitally important that if you wish to remain, not only in this school but in any school, that you're willing to follow rules. All right? I'm not going to look for the easiest way to get you out through that door, Donna. What I'm looking for is I'm looking to try to keep you in the whole school. And I'd like you to be able to stay until you come to year 11 and you leave. And I'd like you to leave here with an absolute handful of GCSEs.
Anything I talk to her about school is all negative. There's nothing positive she's got to say about David Lister. She's got this reputation now, so therefore she has to keep it up. And also the boyfriend she's got at the moment, he's got a pretty bad reputation. So they both can't lose face, can you? She'd rather be on the streets with him because he's excluded from school.
I did point out to her that this was her last chance. If she was excluded from here, she had no chance of succeeding anywhere else and was likely to go on a downward spiral. But it looks like the last couple of days things seem to have picked up. How long it'll last, I don't know, but we'll keep trying.
I do have worries that lots of children can go through life and they reach certain ages before real hard boundaries. Frequently it's on a Friday night when they're getting in the back of a white car with a blue light on the top, and that's a shame because you don't want that to happen either.
Ian and PC Jean McKee are on another truancy sweep, on the lookout for pupils out of school who might be causing trouble.
What are you doing sitting there, young man? What are you doing standing there? Give me this there.
Hello, chaps. To see you nice. It's a bit silly, isn't it? What the hell were you playing at? What? Why are you out of school?
Next to be found is the David Lister newcomer.
What's your name, young man?
Robert Clayton.
Hello, Robert.
See? Right, I went to shops and that.
What time is it now, Robert? Half an hour after break, Robert.
Sit down.
Hello, Stephen.
You rang it? I rang up 999 because he was lobbing bricks off the
Okay, let me come I'll come and speak to you in just a minute.
Thank you. Oh, God. Robert, what's your date of birth?
28.
Looks as though you're in more bother, doesn't it, Robert?
And now, of course, that's the very reason why we're out here, because when you're not in school, you get involved in daft sort of stuff like that, and they end up lobbing bricks.
So I wasn't throwing bricks, I was just watching him.
Watching him? Oh, great, you just dropped him in it from a great height, forgive the pun. So he's sitting there saying, I didn't do it, and you're saying, yeah, I was watching him do it. Pick your friends more carefully, eh? So you weren't on the road bridge onto the old railway track, you were actually on a railway, throwing bricks onto the road, onto Newbridge. I'm speechless. So now we've got to go to check that the road hasn't got debris on it. They don't stop.
Come on then, lads. Everestone, please.
Just stay there, don't go away. Better make sure no cars are coming round the corner. Hang on. Bloom. You were on the railway track, you lunatic.
Go on, all these as well.
His dad'll go ballistic. Abs up the wall.
Donna's in trouble again. This time, the school have called the police.
She came out the dining room and she was playing, tormenting, but playful torment, with Lawrence. And she started to get vicious. So I told her to stop it. And as I leaned over her, I said, come on, Donna, leave him alone. She just came up with a bottle, whang. Stunned me.
Now she's just exaggerated it a bit just so she can get coppers involved. The teachers have been telling them that I'm on drugs in there, so they've been searching me and that. Miss Finlay told them that I was on drugs. She thinks I'm on drugs now. So, wow, what's going on? I've been taken to Crown Court for GBH. Have you? Yeah. Donna, I'm coming to court with you.
So the school wants me to press charges, but I don't want that on my conscience. Yeah, I date anybody to get a police record. I mean, I'm all right. I'm very lucky. It didn't break my glasses, and I am badly hurt, but it did shake me up.
To be fair, there are youngsters that you never win with. You just don't know that at the time. You know it's difficult, but you don't know that at the time.
No charges were laid against Donna, but she was excluded from school for 2 days.
I'm meant to be on my final warning, but I've been on my final warning for quite a bit now. It's bad for them if they exclude someone in it, so I don't think they really want to. But they keep telling me, oh, it's your final warning, next time you'll be getting permanently excluded, but they've done that about 5 times now, so I don't think what's going to happen. When I'm in year 11, I'd get on more with my work job because you've got to study more and that, haven't you? So I don't think I'll get in trouble as much, but you don't know what might happen in year 11, do you? Might not even go to that school in year 11.
Very loud music stops me from thinking about school until I get there. I think the kids are all right. I know it sounds a bit trite, but salt of the earth and all that. And I'm a working class bloke as well, so I know where they're coming from, and I understand them, most of them. You've got God knows how many kids in every lesson who don't even bring a pen or pencil to school with them. You know, it's just not cool to bring a bag to school with stuff in. A pen. No, you can't have that one, that's mine. Oh, you didn't have... No, they never got any science, I think.
Today, Mark's bottom set is minus a pupil. Kirsty's been fighting and has been taken out of lessons. The rest continue as usual.
What we're doing today then?
Well, you're going, at the end of this lesson, you're going to be able to explain why there are bad points and good points about living near volcanoes.
Why can he grow good crops?
Because there's rain coming down and it's still warm.
Yeah,
Okay.
but say this is one thing that I don't get. We've been doing this for about
A million years.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, now you're at secondary school, you've got to do things in a bit
Yeah,
more...
but we can't just do it first, say, until we're in year 9. That would be just...
No, you won't be doing year 9. You'll be doing this till Christmas.
Till Christmas! Say, you know what I could do in them 20 lessons? Chill out.
Well, you could do, yeah. Dave, Holiday Villa's damaged, good or bad?
Bad. Good.
Holiday Villa's damaged.
Bad.
Bad. That was a good class we just had. But I've got to say, that was the best class I've had with them for weeks. They're bored with the whole idea or the whole concept of school. And in actual fact, sometimes they're not bored without even realising it. You know, I could never convince them of it, but they probably did enjoy that we did today. You know, and they'll go away saying it's a load of crap, but they did enjoy it, and they did learn something. It's their perception of it.
I feel the longer Alex stays out of school, the harder it'll be to get him back in.
Alex has been truanting again. This morning his mother brings him in herself.
Go straight through, sit down, all right, get on with your stuff. It's nice to see you. Okay, and I'll speak to you later, right?
I mean, this is where I want him to be, because I know what's going on then. You know, just hopefully you can keep hold of him all day.
Mrs. Harris has just asked me to go across and have a quick word with her, and if Mrs. Harris says come now, I tend to go now. On call is a very tricky one because you never know what you're going into. You have to assess when you're walking into a situation when you approach children. If you're tense, they pick up on that straight away.
What's happened? He's thrown a tantrum and tried to kick and fight and get himself out of the room again, but it's resulted then in him actually picking up the chair and smashing the window. So he's lost his temper. Doesn't like being told what he can and can't do, and somebody controlling him other than himself. It's always the same. My concern is that if we exclude him, we are putting him back out onto the streets where he's going to re-offend because Mummy's not going to keep him in.
Yeah, but that's not our job.
I know it isn't our job.
I'm sorry. I think at the end of the day, we've done what we've made all sorts of provision for that boy.
And I physically had to take him down off of the table at the back. Whilst he was
I think, see, that's it, you know, but actually, it's a criminal assault and criminal damage and assault of yourself.
We agreed at the end of last half-term thing that that you weren't going to put yourself in that position anymore.
And I would go for a 2-day temporary exclusion with the parents fetching him in on Monday morning, and we should contact youth offending team. Yeah, I'm afraid my son had yet again some problems today.
He's obviously got lots of pressures on him. He's coming into school. He's taking the pressures out on various members of staff, and you know, we can't carry on like this. Are we going to go then? We've got middle managers meeting now.
Middle managers is just what I really want right now.
I've got to go. I'll try and...
Given the number of complaints that we've had with the school to the police, I think an awful lot of schools would have thrown in the towel with his challenging behaviour. He has so many issues that the child really doesn't know what he does want, and I think the schools really are bending over backwards to try and help him in the right direction.
Alex feels like he's been mistreated. All right, it's probably his own fault. You know, Alex is no angel, but like, it's living proof that the modern ways don't work. What did you say to me last night?
I want to go to prison so I can... It'll sort my life out, really, won't it?
Why?
No. Because then, when I get out of prison, and people say, well, police have been looking for you, or something like that, I'll just say, no, the Yanks have only just got out of secure unit and...
What a way to think. He's only a little boy, look at him cuddling up to his mum.
Shall I go and answer that door?
Well, I think you're going to, aren't you?
The school did exclude Alex for 2 days, but did not press any charges.
We deal with pupils who basically are antisocial, but they're not antisocial just within school, they're antisocial across the whole spectrum.
So you're sitting in a room where he's just smashed a window and he's tried to hit her, and he's trashed a room, but he knows his rights, he knows what you can and can't do. And I tell you, that's what I was so angry about, because I just thought, well, I can't really maybe say just what I thought at the time, but it was just like listening to a really cynical 35-year-old criminal talking.
I don't think there's a day goes by where you don't put your head in your hands and say, what am I doing it for? If somebody doesn't step into the lives of some of these children, then there isn't going to be a difference. Don't forget to turn it, that's it, good luck.
94 or 40.
Give yourself a bit more tape.
Can I stand
A bit more tape, you're likely to be up, that's it. You're going.
It's the end of term, and Hilary's rewarding her class.
I think you've all shown improvement. I'm quite sure that if I'd shown you how you were behaving when you first came and some of the kick-offs that you used to have and some of the arguments that you used to have with each other and with staff, and then we looked at how you're behaving now and how you're working now, you'd be very, very surprised, because I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased with the progress that you've all made.
Well done, Sam. There you go. Yes. Let's go. Now, where's the clapping gone again? All you do is put your hands together like that.
And make sure that you have a good rest, because when you come back you're going to work just as hard. In fact, you're going to work harder. OK, you're going to work harder, yeah. Do you know why? Because you're all so much brighter now. I want you to go across there and I want you to enjoy your disco, but I want everybody else to enjoy the disco as well. I don't want to hear later on this afternoon that there's been some problems with any of my group.
Oh, do we have to let her? Sorry.
No, just go in to groove.
No, Scott, come back in here. Out, please. You're not here.
What do you hit him for, Scott?
Well, he hit me.
Wait, what?
Sit down, Perry.
And you've just threatened him. Daddy!
I went until outside the school.
No, you're not going to wait outside.
Don't know outside the school.
No, I know I can't do anything outside the school. But that's just silly. I hope so. Have a nice Christmas.
I hate to lose anybody. I hate to lose. I genuinely believe that if a child can succeed anywhere, they can succeed at David Lister. That we will give them every opportunity to succeed, and we won't give up on them. Oh, you stupid boys, don't be silly. Excuse me, son. Say, hey, Cliff, come here. Come here. Come here.